Some bullets aren't just deadly, they're downright ridiculous. The kind of rounds that make you look twice and wonder if someone accidentally raided a military prototype lab or just watched too many action movies. We're not talking about your grandpa's hunting cartridges or the standard issue stuff police carry on duty. No, this is the unholy mix of science fiction, high-stakes engineering, and, frankly, a bit of madness. These rounds weren't built just to poke holes in paper targets. They're made to incinerate, shatter, pierce, explode, twist, and tangle, sometimes all at once. Whether it's lighting the night sky like a 4th of July disaster or sending shockwaves through steel plate like a caffeinated wrecking ball, these rounds bring something extra to the table. So buckle in, maybe grab something fireproof, and let's take a ride through the 7 deadliest, most outrageous types of ammunition ever made. This isn't just a shotgun shell, it's a handheld fire show waiting to happen. Dragon's breath is what you get when someone looks at a regular buckshot and says, "What if this thing could breathe fire?" And then they actually go out and make it happen. Loaded with magnesium shards, these shells ignite when fired, spraying out white-hot sparks and flame that can reach up to 100 feet. That's not a typo. We're talking a literal blast of fire that could give your backyard barbecue a serious identity crisis. With temperatures hitting around 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, it's like having a mini flamethrower in your hands. Sounds cool, right? Until you remember that you're holding that mini flamethrower in front of your face, indoors, or worse, near anything remotely flammable. This is not your home defense solution, unless your idea of protecting the house includes burning it down along with the intruder, your sofa, and probably your eyebrows. Some folks like to say you could use dragon's breath as a distress signal. You know, like flares, just with more fire and a little less logic. It could work as a distress signal, assuming the forest doesn't catch fire first. There's a reason this kind of ammo is illegal in some states, including California and Florida. Fire codes, safety laws, and good old-fashioned common sense all agree. This is not something you casually load into your shotgun after dinner. Dragon's breath is wild, theatrical, and genuinely dangerous. It's the kind of round you load up when you want to put on a show at the range or impress your buddies, assuming your buddies are fine with a little singed arm hair. It's not tactical, it's not practical, but when it comes to spectacle, nothing burns brighter. Now here's a round that doesn't need fire or flash to be lethal, just precision engineering and a whole lot of bad news. Hollow point bullets are known for one thing above all else: expansion. And when they hit, they do it in the worst way possible for whoever's on the wrong end. The trick is in the name. Hollow points have a small depression or cavity in the tip of the bullet. Doesn't look like much until it hits something soft, like tissue. And then, well, the physics take over. The bullet mushrooms outward, tearing through flesh, dumping all its energy, and stopping inside the target. It's like watching a marshmallow explode in slow motion, except replace sweet with devastating. Unlike full metal jackets, which often over-penetrate and exit the body, hollow points are designed to stay put. That means less risk of hitting unintended targets beyond your mark, which is a big reason why law enforcement officers favor them. It's about control, containment, and reducing collateral damage. But don't mistake that for mercy. These rounds are brutal. So brutal, in fact, that the Hague Convention, not the Geneva Convention, contrary to popular myth, banned expanding bullets in warfare. The idea was that they caused excessive suffering on the battlefield, which, spoiler alert, they do. Even so, hollow points remain perfectly legal for civilian use in most places, and they're a top choice for self-defense. People trust them to stop a threat quickly and decisively, which is exactly what they're built to do. When every shot counts and every inch matters, you want the round to do its job and stay where it belongs: efficient, controlled, lethal. Hollow points don't scream with fire or roar with recoil, but they do one thing exceptionally well: they hit hard and don't let go. Sometimes, a bullet isn't about finesse. It's about raw, unstoppable force. And the .577 Tyrannosaur doesn't just bring force, it brings an avalanche. Designed in 1993 by A Square for professional hunting guides in Zimbabwe, this round exists for one terrifying purpose: stopping a charging elephant dead in its tracks. Measuring 14.9 millimeters in diameter and firing a 750 grain, roughly 49 grams, bullet. This cartridge is about as subtle as a freight train. When fired, it delivers over 10,000 foot-pounds of energy, enough to rattle your bones, your fillings, and maybe your soul. The recoil? Think of getting hit in the shoulder with a sledgehammer, a very angry, fast-moving sledgehammer. There's a reason this round is almost exclusively paired with the Hannibal rifle, a gun built like a tank to handle this level of punishment. Even then, shooters are often caught on video being pushed back, bruised, or visibly stunned by the sheer violence of the recoil. It's not the kind of round you casually test at the range unless you've got a spare shoulder lying around. But for what it's designed to do, the 5.77 T-Rex delivers. When you're dealing with a 2-ton animal charging at full speed, you need something that can stop it immediately, not eventually. And this round was made to do exactly that. Of course, outside of dangerous game hunting, its use is almost entirely theatrical. It's not for home defense, but collectors and recoil junkies love it. It's not just a bullet, it's a test of will. Fire it once, and your shoulder remembers. In a world of tactical finesse and lightweight polymer builds, the 5.77 Tyrannosaur is a brutal throwback to raw ballistic power. If Jurassic Park ever came to life, this is what you'd want, assuming you could stay on your feet long enough to fire it. If you ever wondered what it would look like if nuclear physics met kinetic warfare, look no further than depleted uranium rounds. These are not fantasy, not conspiracy, and definitely not gentle. They're real. They're used in modern combat, and they make steel armor look like paper. Depleted uranium, or DU, is a byproduct of the uranium enrichment process. It's less radioactive than natural uranium, but still dense, extremely dense. In fact, it's one of the heaviest materials on Earth. That density is what makes DU rounds so devastating. When fired at high speeds, they act like a hot knife through not-so-hot butter. But there's more. DU has a unique property called pyrophoricity. That's a fancy way of saying it likes to catch fire when it hits metal. So not only do these rounds penetrate armor, they ignite on contact. The result is an explosion of metal, fire, and chaos inside whatever vehicle was unlucky enough to be in the way. Tungsten is sometimes used as an alternative in armor-piercing rounds, but it tends to shatter on impact. DU doesn't. It cuts, burns, and keeps going. That's why many NATO forces have used DU shells in anti-tank roles for decades. Of course, such power doesn't come without controversy. Back in 2001, United Nations teams discovered fragments of DU rounds in Kosovo following military operations. Local populations expressed concern about rising health issues, including cancer. While studies remain divided, the debate over DU's long-term environmental and health impact continues to this day. Still, from a purely mechanical standpoint, DU rounds are brutally effective. They're not for civilians, not for the range, and definitely not for the faint of heart. But when the objective is to punch a hole through enemy armor and leave nothing functional behind, few materials get the job done better. DU isn't science fiction. It's science, weaponized. This next one walks the tightrope between military folklore and terrifying potential. According to scattered reports and decades-old whispers, Soviet scientists in the 1960s may have worked on ammunition that used Californium, a synthetic radioactive element, as its core. And if those stories are even halfway true, then we're talking about a bullet that doesn't just kill, it rewrites the definition of overkill. Californium-252 is highly radioactive, emitting powerful bursts of neutrons. Its critical mass is absurdly low, around 1.8 grams, making it theoretically possible to pack a nuclear-level reaction into something not much larger than a rifle cartridge. According to rumors, some of these rounds were made in calibers like 14.3 mm and 7.6 mm, suitable for machine guns or even AK-type rifles. Just imagine, a bullet-sized neutron bomb flying downrange at battlefield speeds. To keep them stable, they allegedly had to be refrigerated. Yes, cooled rounds in special transport containers to prevent spontaneous detonation. It's said they could liquefy steel on contact and potentially level buildings if fired in sequence. Whether or not any of that is true is up for debate. But the sheer idea of loading your rifle with something that could cause nuclear fallout is the kind of nightmare only Cold War science could dream up. No official documents confirm these bullets ever existed. No military museum showcases one behind glass. Most see them as a Cold War-era legend. But the myth has persisted for decades, and in some circles, where collectors and theorists gather, the Californium round is spoken of in the same breath as secret tanks and lost war machines. Real or not, it earns its place on this list because if even a fraction of the lore is true, it would be one of the deadliest munitions ever conceived. Just pray it stays in the realm of theory. When someone takes inspiration from South American cattle wrangling tools and mixes it with modern firearms, you get something completely unorthodox and wildly dangerous. Enter the Macho Gaucho round, a custom 12-gauge shotgun shell that fires not pellets, not slugs, but two heavy lead balls connected by a steel wire. It's part shotgun blast, part swinging medieval flail. Imagine pulling the trigger and watching two dense spheres whip out in opposite directions, spinning that cable like a furious blender through whatever's in its path. The idea stems from the traditional bolas, a weapon used by gauchos to trip or disable animals at a distance. But this isn't about herding cattle. This is about chaos. The Macho Gaucho round is designed to entangle, rip, and shred. As the balls separate mid-flight, the cable stays taut, turning the whole package into a cutting whip that can slice through soft tissue and potentially even limbs. It's more than just a gimmick. The kinetic energy is focused across multiple vectors, creating a dynamic, almost unpredictable impact zone. The effect is as brutal as it sounds. Walls, targets, even barriers can show signs of tearing and splintering, depending on the range and materials involved. Of course, controlling that trajectory is a different matter entirely. It's not the most precise tool in the box, and firing one indoors or near others is a good way to make enemies, or at least leave someone needing stitches. This isn't standard military or law enforcement fare. It's more of a fringe innovation, something cooked up by experimental gunsmiths looking to push the limits of shotgun engineering. Still, it exists, and it works, even if its usage remains niche. The Macho Gaucho round is what happens when traditional combat gets a bizarre upgrade. It's not clean, it's not subtle, but it is undeniably lethal, and a lot more unpredictable than anything you'd expect from a shotgun shell. Let's clear up one thing right away. RIP doesn't stand for rest in peace. It means radically invasive projectile, and it's exactly as aggressive as it sounds. Created by G2 Research, this 9mm round is designed to shatter on impact, sending out multiple sharp trocars in every direction. Think of it like a controlled explosion, engineered to carve through internal organs with surgical chaos. Unlike standard hollow points that expand outward as one piece, the RIP breaks into several forward-facing fragments that follow separate paths. The idea is simple. Create multiple wound channels to stop a threat faster and limit overpenetration. In theory, it's a brilliant concept, but theory doesn't always make for a flawless shot. Early batches of RIP ammo received criticism for jamming in some pistols and failing to perform consistently in gel tests. Some shooters dismissed it as more flash than function, a round built for marketing more than for reliability. Still, engineering is fascinating. It's a copper bullet with a design straight out of a sci-fi movie. When it works with devastating precision. When it doesn't, it's an expensive lesson in over-design. For home defense or personal carry, opinions vary. Some swear by its stopping power, others stick to proven hollow points. Either way, the RIP round is one of the most visually and mechanically unique bullets ever marketed for civilian use. Few rounds in the world have the reputation, history, and raw stopping power of the .50 Browning machine gun cartridge, originally developed in the early 20th century for use with the M2 heavy machine gun. The .50 BMG is a 12.7 by 99mm NATO cartridge, and it's an absolute juggernaut. With muzzle energy reaching up to 15,000 foot-pounds, this round has been used to take out vehicles, breach walls, and even punch through lightly armored targets from thousands of yards away. It's been adapted into sniper rifles, anti-materiel weapons, and long-range precision systems. This isn't just a bullet, it's a statement. There are multiple variants: standard full metal jacket rounds, armor-piercing incendiary (API), and match-grade sniper rounds crafted for record-setting accuracy. In fact, 50 BMG held the world record for longest confirmed sniper kill for years, over 3,800 yards. While newer contenders like the 12-7 by 114mm HL may have taken the crown, the legacy of the 50 BMG remains unmatched. Its size isn't just for show. A typical 50 BMG bullet weighs around 650 to 800 grains and exits the barrel at speeds exceeding 2,800 feet per second. At that velocity, it can deliver more energy in one shot than a dozen smaller caliber rounds combined, and it keeps that energy downrange. Even at extreme distances, it retains enough punch to disable engines or penetrate reinforced barriers. Despite its military roots, civilian shooters, mostly precision enthusiasts and extreme distance competitors, also use 50 BMG rifles for sport and testing. Ammunition cost, recoil, and rifle size make it impractical for general use. But in the right hands, it's nothing short of surgical destruction. The 50 BMG is the king of big-bore precision. It's thunder in a brass case. And even if you never pull the trigger on one, you'll remember the moment you saw it fired. It's loud, brutal, and awe-inspiring. Some ammunition isn't just designed for function. It's a reflection of the extremes people are willing to explore in ballistics. Whether engineered for survival, spectacle, or sheer destructive capability, these rounds show just how far the limits can be pushed. If you made it this far, thanks for sticking around through every wild detail. Got a favorite? Let us know. And if this kind of content hits the mark for you, there's more where that came from. Appreciate you watching, take care out there, and catch you in the next one.